Today's lesson will be a theory-based lesson in transition piece. I like to get my users to play different pieces, but also at the same time get some theory recognition going on. So I'm going to play a couple of pretty famous pieces and break it down and explain the relationships between the chords and the songs and the structures. So let me just break it down afterwards, but let's get to it. Let's play a couple of songs. First song I'm going to play is R. Kelly, Your Body's Calling Me Remix, featuring Aaliyah, in key of F sharp minor. Diced Pineapples by Rick Ross, F sharp minor. Dead Presidents, Jeezy, F sharp minor. Young Jeezy, Can't Leave You Alone, Nia, F sharp minor. So those are the chords that you hear over and over again. So I'm going to break down these relationships in these songs and give you a quick run through the chords. So R. Kelly, Your Body's Calling Me, the remix and jazzy version, very smooth progression. You're going to have B minor 7th, B, D, F sharp A, B diminished, B, D, F, A. For diminished chords, normally when you play, little side note here, when you play, say for example in this case, a B minor chord, let's try it, B, D, F sharp. When a chord is diminished, you're dropping it a half step for the most part. So you're having B, D, F. And it's a very unusual sound, but it's a jazz progression, so diminished chords are quite common. So you have the B diminished 7. Okay. The next chord after that is going to be, you're going to add in A, C, E, and G sharp. But when we add up the bass, we're going to have an F sharp 9th, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. And then next chord, C sharp minor 7th, C sharp, C sharp, E, G sharp, and B. Play that twice. That's Your Body's Calling Me by R. Kelly. But the chords are B minor, B diminished, F sharp minor, and C sharp minor. Okay, so the other songs may not have the diminished chord, but they have 3 of the 4 primary chords that you're hearing throughout the song, and because it's in the key of F sharp minor. So now we're moving on to Diced Pineapples by Rick Ross, F sharp minor again, and it's a very similar pattern. You have the F sharp minor rolling in there, and then you have the C sharp minor ninth in this case, no longer seventh. So we're having C sharp, G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. Now a little switch up to another major chord, E, G sharp, B, G sharp, B, D sharp, F sharp, E major ninth, and then resolves to a nice soft D major, D, F sharp, A, C sharp, and E, D sharp 9. Okay, so you have ninth, or some people consider it suspended, second suspension, or ninth chords composed of diced pineapples, which gives it a very unique sound, just like R. Kelly's songs, which were also in F sharp minor. So you have that nice progression going, and then you can soften it a little bit more by going over to Dead Presidents by Jeezy. So you have again, you're playing a segmented F sharp or D sharp major ninth in this case again. You're gonna have that in the bass, F sharp, E, and C sharp. Well, that's the melody. Again, you're playing that on top of a B minor. And then we're going down to, again, the F sharp 9 in this case. It's all the same chord. So D sharp again. And you can add that dissonant second or ninth right there to give it a slighter, more dissonant effect, which is beautiful, I believe. So now we're going on the final piece, which is Can't Leave You Alone, or Won't Leave You Alone by Neo. Again, same progression. Again, a D major ninth down to the B minor seventh. B minor seventh, and then again. Now I add a ninth in this to make it sound again more dissonant and more foreboding. And then you just walk up that F sharp minor at the end, because you can't leave it alone, even though there's an inherent danger in what he's talking about or in what Neil's singing about. You still come back for more, and that's why you have to bring it back up to the G sharp. That's why I added in there. So these chords, you have to find a waypoint, which is the F sharp minor, undoubtedly in this case. C sharp minor, not so much, but the F sharp minor, seventh, or if you need to get out to a different song, use the D major chord to get back, or the B minor seventh. So those are the common chords throughout the songs. The C sharp minor, E major, and diminished chords that you hear sometimes. Those are outliers, but for the most part, we're going to have the B minor to get you over to the next part of the song. So let's look at the transition point. If I want to play any of these songs, I'm going to start off with the F sharp minor, because it's very common among all of them. It's a common denominator. So I want to play Diced Pineapples per chance. Then I go over to C, F sharp, and then I want to play that a couple times and then get into the main rhythm, and then I can break it down for a more dramatic effect into Your Body's Calling Me. And when I'm done playing Your Body's Calling, I can go over to dead presidents by playing that F sharp up here. And I just play up to Can't Leave You Alone again. B minor 7th, 9th, D major 9th, B minor 7th, the F sharp is holding it. And then I go back right into Diced Pineapples and then break it down to the E major. And I use that D major again to transition over to Your Body's Calling by just going up a half step or a whole step. And you can end all these on F sharp minor, this last chord right here. So those are chords you hear a lot in these songs, and these are very popular songs. So go along, play along with the tracks, write down these chords, and just experiment with different sounds. And push yourself and push yourself to play in different styles and different rhythms and different intensity, because all these songs are vastly different in their meaning and their interpretation. So go along, play with the chords, and have fun, and thank you for watching.